Ms. Sangeeta Kumari ma'am to give a brief introduction of our next speaker. So, sir is an associate professor from IIT Roorkee and he'll be briefing us today on AI in biosignal analysis. So, ma'am, can you please give a brief introduction of the same, then we will start
Thank you, Abhishek sir. Good morning, all of you. I welcome all to the fourth day of AICT ATAL sponsored faculty development program on AI application in current scenario. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speaker, Dr. Partha Pratim Roy. Dr. Partha Pratim Roy is an associate professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Roorkee. Dr. Roy has received his master's in 2006 and PhD in 2010 from Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, Spain. He did his postdoctoral work in France and Canada towards understanding of historical document images. Dr. Roy has been working extensively in pattern recognition, image processing, computer vision, biosignal analysis, and multilingual text recognition. He has published more than 200 research papers in various international journals and conferences. Currently, Dr. Roy is carrying out research in cognitive engineering with the help of EEG signals. His work on neuromarketing improve user experience by automatic feedback system. Now I welcome Dr. Partha Pratim Roy sir. Sir, up to you. Sir, please.
Madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You are
sir.
audible.
You are audible.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor God, and thank you, Madam. Yes, for this nice introduction. So I am very much honored to be here for sharing my knowledge with you. Okay, in this event. Thank you all the participants for attending this lecture. So good morning. So today I have planned to have the session on biosignal analysis. Okay, so I would like to share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, as you know, this artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, these are buzzwords in these days. Okay, and everywhere in academia and industry, people are all looking for these experts in these fields for developments and research. Okay, so there are several applications and domains people are working worldwide on this AI and ML. Okay, so you can say that it's healthcare, it is in defense, in education, or anywhere. Okay, IoT, everywhere. Actually, people are using this artificial intelligence, and we are actually working these days on EEG analysis, okay, electroencephalograms. Okay, so today I have planned to discuss with you this EEG based healthcare systems or EEG based uh, machine AI systems. Okay, uh, my work on this biosignal analysis, especially in EEG, these are available in my website parimol.iit.ac.in. Okay, this is mentioned here in this footer. Parimol is the name of our team. It's the short form of pattern recognition, image processing, and machine learning. You will find the details of our projects, publications, and many data sets. Okay, so whatever we are working, you can always drop me mail if you have any doubts at partho@cs.iit.ac.in. Okay, this is my email address. So anytime if you have any difficulties, doubts, you can always contact me. So moving forward, okay, so before I start this session, so let me tell you that, okay, so let us make this session as interactive one. Okay, so if you have any doubts or comments at any point during this lecture, you please interrupt me. Okay, because in this virtual uh, presentations, okay, so I will not see your face and I do not understand that, okay, whether you will be really interested in those slides or not, or what is the problems. Okay, if you have any doubts, so anytime if you see that, okay, you are not understanding, then you please stop me and we can discuss. Fine. So when we talk about this AI machine learning, so you have lots of machine learning technologies, okay, available. And just before this 8 years, so we had this support vector machines, then random forest, these classifiers for applications. In last 10 years, we have seen tremendous boom in this tremendous boom in machine learning paradigm. So we are using deep learning, okay, deep learning with convolution neural network, recurrent neural network, all, and then these are being applied in image processing, signal processing, speech, augmented reality, virtual reality, then healthcare. In healthcare, for example, we have um, this ECG signals. Okay, so you might have already seen that if some patients are having this heart related disease, they go to hospitals and there they do this checkup of this ECG. Okay, ECG, there are some electrodes. These are placed uh, on chest and then they record, okay, these heart signals, and from those heart signal records, the doctors or experts, they understand that if there is any disease. Okay, so that means there are some patterns in the signals which show the disease. Okay, so this common people, common human, they will not understand, but the experts, they will understand from this waveform of this ECG that if there is in disease, and if it exists, then what will be the severity of that ECG signals. Similarly, there is another kind of signals, okay, from human body which is actually being used for disease diagnosis, that is called electroencephalograms, okay, EEG. In short, it is called EEG. Okay, so EEG uh, is measured from brain. Okay, so several electrodes are placed on the head, scalp, and they record the signals from the skull, and then it predicts the cognitive state of the person. Cognitive state means, so for example, it could be the person's emotion, like whether he is happy or sad. Okay, these kinds of emotion. Okay, so for example, it could also demonstrate that, okay, if a person is in depression mode or not. Okay, so whether if the person is interested in something, so those, or if he is very much interested in some movies or some products, okay, like e-commerce website products, so he will be very much interested, attentive. Okay, so then those kinds of states, cognitive states, brain states, will be reflected from in that EEG signals. Okay, so that means we are showing some uh, based on some external stimulus or maybe some internal stimulus. Okay, stimulus means you show some video or image. Okay, or maybe for example some say some words and then how it reacts. Okay, so these are the stimulus. Similarly internally, okay, some from muscle movements or something, there will be some stimulus, so based on which the how the brain react. Okay, how in brain means your neurons in the brain, how this react. So these actually will reflect the state of the brain. Okay, so you have these biosignals. You are actually we want to develop one interface, okay, called brain computer interface, which will reflect the states of the brain, whether the person is in a happy mode or sad mode, or he is in a attention, he is giving attention or not. Yes. Any comments? Fine. So I show you on video. Okay, so you see this BCI example. So this guy is using the uh, brain's device, okay, BCI device. Okay, so this one electrode is actually placed in on his forehead. Okay, and then what he's doing is blinking the. Then he's blinking the eyes, and then there are some muscle movement, okay, or change, and this actually reflect in his brain neurons, and those neuron signals that's actually we get from this EEG signals. So EEG signals, so this from these electrodes we record these EEG signals, and then when he is blinking, so this motor is actually running. Okay? So when it's not blinking, motor. Okay? So like this. So according to the signals, according to the stimulus, okay, so like eyes blinking or internal movements, so there will be some change in the signals of the EEG, and that actually could be could be understood. Okay, and then you can use that for analyzing or for developing some applications. Okay, so it could be health related applications, or it could be others. Okay, so I will discuss, okay, these different problems, that how these signals are acquired, and then how you will process these EEG signals, and how you will apply this machine learning or deep learning on these signals. Okay, so this will be illustrated throughout this lecture. Okay, so we will be discussing of these EEG signals for different applications. It could be healthcare or it could be others. So EEG or electroencephalogram, it measures the activity of large number of neurons. Okay, so for example, if I'm just blinking my eyes, or I'm watching some movies. Okay, so during that stimulus, okay, during that action of the stimulus, uh, the some part of my brain is actually functioning. Okay, so you will see that. Okay, so in brain actually there are several parts like frontal part, parietal, occipital. Okay, these each of these parts are actually active. Okay, for different uh, activities. Okay, so for example, if I am watching, okay, or I am seeing some videos, so there my occipital part, okay, so, maybe active. Okay, maybe frontal part is not that active. Okay, so during that period, that whichever part of the brain is active, there the neurons, okay, are actually communicating, okay, each other. Okay, so as you know, this neural network, you have studied, this one neuron sends informations to the other neurons like this. Okay, so it's actually biological neuron. You have so many neurons in the brain, so neurons are actually exchanging the information from one neurons to another neuron, and when they exchange those informations, okay, so there are some change in the voltage. Okay, so this actually we can record. Okay, so when we place some electrodes, okay, so in that location there will be millions of neurons. Okay, so they are actually, everyone is moving, changing this exchanging the information. So in accumulations we will receive a change in the voltage at the skull. Okay, so what through which we actually collect the signals. Okay, so how it is working means whether it is what is the cognitive state. Okay, so as you have seen, this means it will be like a signal. So if it is not working, so then the signals will be very there will be not much uh, amplitudes. Okay, so it means this will the difference between peak and valley will be small. If there are some activities, okay, so the difference will be large. You will see a large amplitude. Okay, so that actually we can record, and we can analyze that part for pattern analysis, like what is the disease, or what is the external stimulus for which it got this signal. Okay, so we are interested to know that from these EEG signals, what was the stimulus for which it gives these kinds of pattern. Okay, so it will actually help us to understand that what is the disease or what is the stimulus. Okay, so if we do not see that guy, okay, we'll discuss. Okay, so this voltage difference is recorded with the electrodes. Okay, and electrodes and if you see this signals, it will be it is called EEG. Now this voltage difference, these are also recorded by this other devices called fMRI, MEG, and others. Okay, so for example, these are the fMRI, MEG devices. I think you might have seen in these hospitals. Okay, so these also treat for this use. These are used for this diagnosis of brain-related diseases. Okay? So there are actually several data sets for several data sets which are actually used for machine learning. These data sets are in image or videos. Okay, so if you see the data, so when actually one undergoes with these kinds of device, MEG, fMR, this you see these are actually very huge device. Okay, and when they undergo through these devices, there actually it measures the change in the cerebral blood flow. Okay, so how this blood flow is modified. So change. Okay, so these are recorded in stacks of 2D image. Okay, so different slices, many slices of 2D images in XYZ. Okay, three axis. So if one wants to work for this disease diagnosis in AI or ML, people actually use these kinds of image processing. Okay, on this three-dimensional images or videos. Okay, so there are actually many work on this fMRI MEG based images or videos, but you see that these devices are very huge and these are very costly, and maintenance cost is also very high. Okay, however, when we are talking about this EEG signal, this is actually cheaper compared to those devices, and they are very light and user handy. Okay, so it's just like a wearable device. Wearable device one will use in their head, okay, as is head scalp, okay, as a, like a cap, and there are several electrodes placed throughout this over this scalp, okay, and at different locations, okay, to get the signals, okay, of the brain. And before, these electrodes were actually implanted using some surgery. Okay, but these days, these kinds of surgery is not required. Okay, those were invasive, means electrodes were implanted and they record the signals. The advantage is that when we record those signals using this implantation, the out environment noise is less and you get very good signals. Okay, you can actually do the analysis, you will receive the signals in pure form and you can understand the signals. When we work for non-invasive, like we use some head scalp and then we place these electrodes and get the signals, these are actually affected with the environment noise. Okay, and sometimes these signals are not captured properly. Okay, these are called non-invasive, means we do not implant. So this is just a scalp uh, cap, and then mm, we record the signals through those electrodes. I'll show you one video which is it is actually captured from our lab. Okay, so you see this. This is actually a 160 channel wearable device. So 160 means there are provision of 160 electrodes in the scan. But we will be using only two or three, okay, depending on your application. I will discuss. So when this is connected in the GUI with this device. Okay, so you see this device, and this guy is actually putting some gel, okay, between this electrode and the scalp, the skin, so that the connectivity will be better. Okay, so we will get signal without much. So when it is connected, it will be shown as in a green color. Fine. So you'll see that when it was there in green, and it starts giving you the signals. Like as I said, this ECG, it will start giving you the signals of location of the brain. Okay. So you see this some signals. You have signals. Okay? So when one is not doing anything, so this electrode will be like silent, and if there are some activity, it will give you some movements. Okay? So this guy is asked to blink the eyes, and then you see that when he blinks the eyes, then there will be change in the waveform. you see that. Yeah, why it is F4 I will explain later. But when it is blinking, you see that there are some change, okay, in this waveform, and it's very steep. Okay, so there is the difference between this valleys and peak. And when it's not blinking, so that means this is little silent. Okay, so only small activities. These are because of this internal movements, or it could be from noise. Okay. So now, yeah, if he is closing the eyes, so you see this activity. This is actually not having any change. Okay, there is no change in this waveform. So from this signal pattern, we can understand at what time he blinked his eyes. Okay, so given these signals. Okay, so that's actually, so he has blinked and we have got this, received these signals. And now if this if you do not know this eye blinking when he did this blinking, so from this signal we can actually decode. Okay, so that's the pattern recognitions. Okay, so so these doctors, they do the same this analysis. So from these signals, they understand that okay, what will be the um, disease and what is the severity of the disease. So you see that if we want to compare this EEG and fMRI image, okay, this data acquisition, so you can see that these are more or less similar. Okay, so it actually, this fMRI image I showed you, this is actually in a image based, and it measures that okay, how far actually this blood flow happen. Okay, and in this waveform you will know that okay, so when it is in the peak, okay, so that time there will be there are some corresponding. Okay, so you see this is the large. Okay, so that part, that means it's a large activity. So that means it is in the peak. From this EEG you can find this time, and from this fMRI image also you could actually understand. Okay, so now this another video, you see this guy is making three different kinds of actions. One is blinking, jaw clenching, and this eyes closing. Okay, so three different activities he is doing, and you'll see that this pattern, the signal is also different. Okay, of from in each activity. So when he is making, for example, this blinking, so we have seen this blinking actually does like that. And when he is making this jaw clenching, you see this jaw clenching, then there are actually some changes. Okay, and then when he's closing the eyes, so you'll see that's more or less like a silent signal. Okay, so what we have seen, that given some electrodes which are placed on the head scalp, it actually gives you the signals in microvolt range. Okay, so for example, you want to record the signal for 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever, so you will get signals like this in microvolt range. And then you can place several electrodes. Okay, so now I forgot that. Okay, so in market actually there are different kinds of this caps. Okay, exist. So in some caps, only one electrodes or two electrodes will be there, which are actually very cheap. You can find them in Indian rupees of 10,000 or 12,000. And sometimes there are actually so many electrodes. Okay, maybe 160 that I was stating, or 256. Okay, these are very dense. Okay, which actually capture, you will place throughout this cap in different regions of this brain, and you will get the signals from everywhere. These are actually expensive. It will be in crores. Okay, so if you want to work with 256 electrodes, so according to this number of electrodes, okay, so you have 2 electrodes, 4 electrodes, 10 electrodes. Okay, so some companies are like Neurosky, Emotive, then ActiveJam, because several components are available. So this is also another research area, that what are the hardwares, how efficiently you record the signals. Okay. So the electrodes naming is done according to the position of the brain. So for example, it's the A will be named. Okay, A is named for those electrodes. Okay, if these are placed in this in auricle sites, like in left or right. Okay, near to this ear. Then C, it will be on the central part. Then F is for frontal part, like in this for near to forehead. Like we got the signals in F4. Okay, so that means it's on the just on front of this head. And this is F4. Okay, F3. Then you have this FP, frontal pole. O is occipital, parietal, temporal. Okay, so these are some naming convention for this each for the names of each electrodes. And there is also another form that, okay, so if right side, then it will be in odd even number. If these electrodes are in the left side, this will be in the odd numbers. Okay, and then there is another standard. Okay, so of placing those electrodes, that the difference of these electrodes, okay, from one electrode to another electrode will be which should be in 1020 system. 1020 system means for example, this one auricle to another auricle. Okay, so if you have this electrodes, so first two electrodes will be the difference will be of 10%, and after that it will be 20-20. Okay, so similarly, if you have this frontal or this occipital, everywhere this from this surrounding this circumference, it will be 10%, and after that it will be 20-20. Okay, so that's the standard. Okay, it's front to back, or this from left to right. Now, from that, I was telling that these signals are actually monitored by these neurologists and doctors, and they diagnose those brain related diseases. So, if you go to this AIMS, Delhi, Rishikesh, or any different any big hospitals or private hospitals, you will see that now everywhere people are using this EEG for analyzing these kinds of diseases. Okay, like brain tumor analysis, stroke, sleeping disorder, epilepsy, brain death, brain function monitoring. Okay, monitoring the depth of anesthesia, depressions. Okay, so how far or stress analysis. Okay, so these kinds of brain disorders are actually diagnosed with this EEG. More or less, almost all these brain related diseases are diagnosed. So not only in healthcare, okay, so these EEG signals could be used for other purpose beyond this healthcare. So in healthcare, we have seen, now we can also use these EEG signals for physical rehabilitation. For example, if someone's hands or legs or some limbs are not functioning properly, so we could actually use some rehabilitation, means how what he is thinking. Okay, so and then accordingly we can place some motors, and this actually they can start moving. Okay, so for example, this AI or this technology can understand that, okay, what the signals, like whether he wants to move his hands or hands in the towards the object, whether he can capture it or not. Okay, so accordingly the motor will function. These are all physical rehabilitation. Then behavior analysis, like for example, someone is driving, so he might be very stressed or maybe fatigued. Okay, so if these kinds of stimulus are there, that he's very stressed. Okay, so then those kinds of those information will be reflected. Those will be reflected in EEG. Okay, So, for example, if he's driving the car, or if he's, for example, in before this exam, okay, so his behavior will be changed. So we can analyze this behavior. Okay, so what is the change? So from this, we can also use this neuromarketing. Okay, neuromarketing and security. Neuromarketing means, so for example, like one goes to the market and then he looks for some products, and then he is maybe he's very interested of this product, or he's not interested. Okay, if he's not interested, then maybe this machine or this EEG actually tells the company that okay, these products are not so attractive. Okay, so they need to change. Okay, so for example, like in Facebook or social media, you see that lots of advertisement comes, or they say for, or it provides you recommendation that whether you one wants to watch the movies, or one wants to listen some music. Okay, so then what kind of movies or musics could be recommended, what he can listen. So similarly, neuromarketing is from EEG signals. We want to provide those. We want to understand the uh, attention of that user. Okay, or whether he is interested or not, and then accordingly we will recommend. Similarly, EEG could also be used for security analysis. Security analysis, like if as it is, you have seen this for authentications. We provide the signatures or face data for understanding that whether the person is genuine or forged. So, from EEG signals, from this brain signals, is it possible to authenticate that person is genuine or not? Okay, so that we will discuss some of these applications of neuromarketing, security, or healthcare. Okay, in this coming slides. Yeah, any doubts, any comments till now? Hello. Hello, is it okay? Any comments? Anyone? Yeah, if you do not have, can you please write? Okay, so something that okay, what is your doubts? If you have any comments or not. Are you following?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. It's nice presentation. Very nicely explained.
Yes, yes, thank
No
you.
doubts.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Okay. So if you have any doubts at any point, okay, please interrupt me. Okay. So we'll stop there. We'll understand. Okay. So what I wanted to say, and then we'll move. Okay. Thank you. So this EEG is being used for different purpose. Yes, not only healthcare but also beyond this healthcare. So if you see this in disease diagnosis, I just give you a slide. Okay, so I'll discuss all in detail. Okay, so for example, if for epileptic seizure predictions, okay, so this is also one kind of disease, neurological disease, okay, that occur in the brain. Okay, so seizure is actually happened when there are discharge of neurons. Okay, hypersynchronous, huge amount of uh, discharge of neurons on the in the brain. Okay, and when these kinds of incident happen, so then actually brain the patients is having serious patient is in serious condition and they need some treatment. So, but before this incident, that if can we understand that when these kinds of seizure will happen? Okay, so just before this seizure incident, can we warn the patients that okay, from these EEG signals that you are going to happen it in 3 to 3 seconds, okay, something like this, or there should be some alarm that okay, so he will sit in the bed or in sofa or somewhere, or he will lie down, okay, so something like this. So that actually we had one project on this, okay, with one hospital. So for example, if you see these EEG signals, okay, and this is the ATAL. ATAL means the seizure. During the seizure period, this is actually this abnormal excessive discharge of neurons. And just before that, you have this pre-ATAL. Okay, so that's what I've seen. This just before the signal, 2 3 seconds before, if we have this before this seizure, from these EEG signals, can we understand that he is going to have this seizure very soon? Okay, so from that pre-ictal period, there are an EEG signals. Um, can we find out the pattern? Okay, and if we see that okay, this patient is going to have, then we can actually warn. Okay, so there are several work. Okay, not only us, many papers, research papers are actually published on this epileptic seizure predictions. Okay, so it will help the patients. So from our work, we got around if the patient is having seizure, and we can predict with 91%. So these papers names are all given, but I don't know why it is not shown here. Yes. So you see this paper, epileptic seizure prediction by the detection of seizure waveform from the pre-ictal phase of the EEG signals. Okay. So there are actually many other works in healthcare domain, and beyond this, this EEG could be used for neuromarketing that I was telling, emotion understanding, game. So you want to play the games, okay. So for example, there is some game is going, and then you just understand, you just imagine through brain, okay, that okay, so what you want to move, okay, so you want to move straight or you want to move left, right, okay. So for example, it could be wheelchair control, okay, so you, for example, your the hands or limbs are not functioning, so just using the EEG signals, we can understand that what the person wants to do, so whether he wants to move straight, right or left, okay, in which directions, and accordingly that we can control. Okay, so similarly, the security authentications and others, we will see, okay, some of these applications. Okay, so as I was telling, this electrodes placement, okay, it is very important. Okay, so as this the device is very costly, so you might not be interested for lots of electrodes, okay, because it will be very expensive. So maybe someone is interested for 20 electrodes or 4 electrodes. Okay, so for that you have to place those electrodes in correct positions. The correct position means, for example, if that I was telling, this occipital lobe, okay, in brain, actually this is active for vision and color perceptions. Then temporal lobe is active for understanding language, behavior, memory, hearing. Okay, parietal lobe for knowing right from left, sensations, reading, body orientations, etc. Frontal is problem solving, emotional traits. Okay, so then if you place those electrodes, okay, according to these regions, you find more signals, okay, and that actually you can do some pattern analysis. Okay, so if you have limited number of electrodes. But if you have lots of electrodes, you can place according to this 10-20 standard, and later you will analyze only those frontal part electrodes or parietal part, but those other parts also they can influence, so you can have some connectivity. So people are all working with this connections, okay, zoom call it coordinations of these different electrodes from different lobes, and then how they are functioning. Okay, so people are actually doing research on this. Okay, so from now we are going to see this how this when we acquire these EEG signals, how we can process. So EEG signals, as we have seen, this would be in different rhythms. Okay, so sometimes it could show you high frequency components, and sometimes it is with only low frequency components. So when actually someone is in deep sleep, okay, or in a sleeping stage, just he wanted to sleep, then that time those high frequency components will be absent. Okay, it will be very less. But when he is active, okay, so for example, one is walking or listening music, okay, that time there will be some high frequency components. Okay, so that's why this different kinds of waveforms could be visible from these EEG signals. So usually, if we classify according to this frequency components, okay, so we'll see that they are actually in the papers. Okay, so people are dividing those signals into these 5 different bands according to this frequency components. 5 different bands: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta. Okay, so delta is less than 4 hours, means he is in a deep sleep. Theta is in the sleeping state, 4 to 7 hertz. Then alpha is 8 to 15, beta 16 to 31, means he is very active. Okay, so this, you see, these higher frequencies are actually active processing, relatively desynchronous. Okay, so that means there are, when he is in this waking state, okay, then he's doing some work. That means there are several other parts, okay, muscle movements, and then he's doing some thinking, he's imagining something, he's thinking, he's different activities will be there. So there will be many high frequency components will be there. But when there will be low frequency components, only few signals will be there, which actually are based for the internal muscles. Okay, so that will show you the signals. So I'm not going into details of those technical parts. Okay, so I'll tell you. So if one wants to decompose this from this EEG signals, so you are actually getting this raw EEG signals like this. If one wants to decompose the signals into these different bands, okay, so you can use this discrete wavelet transform or Fourier transform for this decomposition. So discrete wavelet transform, actually you can first remove this noise parts, okay, and then whatever remaining you make in this. Okay, so according to this frequency components divisions, you split, and then you can find out this frequency components. Otherwise, you can also find out this Fourier transform, and you can understand that in that signal what frequency components are present. Okay, then actually you can say that, okay, whether the person is in which state, whether is in a sleeping stage or activity stage. Okay, so this could be understood. So if you receive the signal, so now it's actually a little signal processing. Okay, so you are acquiring the signals, and you have to understand. If you want to do some pattern analysis, you want to see some patterns in the signals. So you have to process that signal. Okay, so now we will be doing this pattern analysis in signals. So this machine learning, deep learning, everything will be on these signals. So you can directly use that signals, raw signals, in your deep learning domain. Okay, so I will discuss this, how actually you may use this deep learning domain. But if we have seen that if we directly pass this raw data, raw EEG, means whatever we acquire, and then we feed into this machine learning domain, deep learning, so there actually we have lots of noise, and these do not give good results. So we need to do some pre-processing. Okay, so removing some noise. Okay, and then if there are some jittering effect, we make some smoothing. Okay, so like this. So these are like moving average filters, low pass, high pass, band pass filters. Okay, so something like this. For example, low pass filters. This also could be used for this frequency band decompositions. Like if you have this frequency signals, you know this there are this frequency, many frequencies, and you want to pick up only this low frequency component. So you just extract this low frequency component. If you want to extract the high frequency components, then you will be using high pass filters. Okay, so there are actually different band filters are there, so you may use them for extracting the important signals that you are looking for. And when you have these signals, okay, you get the signals. So we want to extract some features for machine learning. Okay, so for example, I want to understand that whether the person is having any so for example, he is in a happy stage or he is in a sad stage. Okay, so let's consider these two problems. Okay, it's a machine learning paradigm. Given a signal, I want to classify this signal whether it's in a happy stage or it's in a sad stage. So given, so how will you do? It's like your signal processing that I was telling. So like your speech data, voice data, or signals. So features like, for example, I can use a 20 milliseconds window. Okay, 20 milliseconds window. I have taken, it's a milliseconds. Okay, 20 milliseconds window, and from this window there are actually several amplitude. Okay, so I'll just calculate the root mean square of these samples. So for example, I have taken this 100 samples of this from this 20 milliseconds window, and from this 100 samples, I will extract the root mean square feature, standard deviation features, energy feature, or mean features, or some power, okay, whatever. So there are actually different ways of extracting these features. And then I have extracted the feature in this 20 millisecond window. And then this window will shift a little, for example, 20 milliseconds again. And then in that position, we will extract the feature again. And then this window will be shifting from left to right, and in each position will extract those features. Okay, like this root mean square, standard deviation, energy mean. X size are all amplitude of that sample. Okay, so for example, in this 40 milliseconds, there are actually some continuous data. So I'll take some sampling. Okay, so I have picked up for the 100 samples or 50 samples, and so these 50 samples are x size. Okay, so I will make some this x size, and I can make some root mean square or the standard deviation, energy, or mean. These kinds of features I will extract. Okay, and then once we extract those features, and then this will be used for machine learning. Okay, so for example, if in this online domain, that for example, I do not see the participants. Okay, I do not know also what is the age or gender distributions of these participants, or whether you are really interested in this presentation or not, that I was telling, that whether you are attentive or not. So how I can use this machine learning paradigm, okay, with these EEG signals, how we can do that. So for this, what we have to do, so you have to get one EEG signal device. That's we have used this EMO-TV Plus with 14 channels. That means 14 electrodes are placed in different positions, and then each electrode is giving the data. So we ask the participant user to wear, and then let them close their eyes. Okay, once they close their eyes, so you see that once they close their eyes, there will be the silent waveforms. Okay, that you have seen. So from that silent waveform, we get the signals. Okay, and then in that signals, we collected the signals from 60 individuals, 60%. So you know this in machine learning, you have to make a data set. So data set of, let's say we have used this data set of 60 individuals, with different age groups between 6 and 55 years. So it's a classification problem. 6 to 10 years is class 1, 12 to 15 is class 2, 18 to 23 class 3, like this. And there are male female distributions, and in each class there are 10 users. Okay, so this is the distributions of the data set. When we have these data sets, which actually is the storage of those data from these different persons, and then we use some pre-processing feature extraction that we have explained. Pre-processing like noise removal, feature extraction, like from each window we extract those mean, standard deviation, those kinds of feature. And then after extracting this feature, you can use these models, okay, classifiers models like neural network, support vector machines, random forest, these kinds of classifier. Okay, each classifier will give you those. This will take the input as features, and then this will be modeled for classifying whether it's a what is the age group, like what is out of the 6, which one age group, and then if it is a gender, whether it is a male or female. So I just to understand it's better, so I'll just tell you that, okay, so for example, nowadays many smartphones are available. If you want to take a photo, so in that screen actually it comes that how old you look like. Okay, so similarly, so for example, when you start taking a photos, then it will say that, okay, you are 30, you are looking like 30 years old or 25 years old. Okay, so similarly from this EEG signals, we also want to know that how you look like, okay, how young you look like, or what is your gender. Okay, so these kinds of analysis. So if we use this paradigm with this feature extractions like this mean, standard deviations, like that, and classifications like neural network, support vector machines, and we have seen that from our experiments that random forest actually provided better results. Okay, these are traditional machine learning algorithms. Note that these experiments are done in a lab. Okay, in actually it's there is no noise. Okay, and this users are sitting in a relaxed positions. Okay, it is in a controlled environment. Okay, so we control the environment, but which is not uh, possible, okay, in if the user moves in the external, okay, environment. Okay, if you think that, okay, I will use this EEG data set device when I move in market, okay, in fish market, and then you want to understand, so there will be lots of noise. Okay, so you will not get the data properly. So that's why those hardware companies are interested. Okay, so for example, for mapping the for brain mapping the sports person. Okay, so what type of exercise they should do so that their efficiency is improved. Okay, so this means how they will collect the data. Okay, so they are moving in an external environment. Okay, so they are playing, or they are, for example, they are playing golf, or what kind of what exercise. Okay, these are in the open environment. So how they will collect the data properly. So that's why this hardware business is also growing. Now, when we have this age and gender recognition using this random forest, we see this that accuracy is close to 90% for age, and gender is actually for 2+ problem. So this accuracy is 95%. And if we just use, for example, this according to the bands, okay, that I say that, okay, instead of this full raw wave means that this EEG signals, I just extract the different bands like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta, means less than 4 hours, 4 to 7 hours. If we just use only that frequencies and how frequently they appear in the signals, okay, if we analyze only according to these bands, then we see this the accuracy is good in the theta band or beta band. Okay, beta band for age, and gender it's for n theta. Okay, here using theta you get good results, and age you can also get similar results. Okay, like this beta band. And then this is for age class. Okay, so according to the each categories. Okay, so age C1 is very young, so we get very good accuracy. For then C2. Okay, so you see the C1 is from 6 to 10, C4 is 25 to 29, C4 is 25 to 29, and there we actually could not get good results. Okay, and then if you see the signal duration, okay, so how long you will collect the signals. Okay, that is also a very good question in the experiment. So you have to do this trial and error. Okay, so you collect the data, and then you see this. If we get the signals for 1 second and we do this machine learning experiments, so the accuracy is not good. But if you use more or less in the 7 seconds, okay, 7 seconds data, and then you use this machine learning, so you will get better good results. Yeah, any questions till now? Hello, are you following? Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we have seen these are actually traditional machine learning paradigm like random forest, support vector machines, neural network. Now we can use also this recent latest technologies like deep learning that I was telling. This deep learning is now everywhere. Okay, in every machine learning applications. Now, if we use this deep learning these architectures, replacing those support random forest, then actually we can get better results. So I will use the same application, same problem. Okay, this age and gender recognitions. So we are using this pre-process EEG signals. So we are doing some pre-processing like noise removals, and after that we are using this deep learning. Deep learning deep learning, as you know, that it is actually a time series data. It's a signals. Okay, so in signals we have used this recurrent neural networks and its families. You have this recurrent neural network. It is used for classifying the signals, okay, for a time period. Okay, so there you have this recurrent neural network, stacked recurrent neural network, bidirectional RNN, then long short-term memory LSTM, bidirectional long short-term memory, then GRU, gated recurrent unit. Okay, so these kinds of architectures are available in deep learning. So we can use this LSTM, BLSTM from this pre-processed signals, and then we can go for classifications. Here we just use that signals and we do not extract any features. Okay, so we are giving the signal itself, okay, without any feature extractions, because you know that when we are using this deep learning, you do not need to extract this. It will understand the context and the features himself. We just provide the samples data, that what is the amplitude for example 9 seconds data or 8 seconds data. So those samples informations will be given, and it will run this LSTM or BLSTM classification, and it will provide you the results, whether what is the gender or what is the age. So if you can use also this LSTM BLSTM, or we can use a combined, okay, or a more complex architecture. So for example, here we are using this BLSTM, then we have used LSTM, another LSTM. Okay, so that's actually BLSTM LSTM combination. BLSTM, yes, it's also LSTM, but it's a bidirectional LSTM. Okay, so we are using this. I'm not going into details. Okay, these are all available in this paper. So if you are interested, you can go through. So if you are using this LSTM, so in LSTM we got around 96.35, BLSTM 95.05, and deep if we are using this LSTM BLSTM combined, so results are little improved, 97.5, 93.7. Okay, so note that this are done with those data set only. Okay, whatever data we have. If you could augment or if you have more data, of course the performance will be better. So now this paradigm of machine learning or deep learning with this EEG, is it okay? So shall we can move now with these other applications that where we can use this machine learning paradigm for this classifications, predictions, or neuromarketing, security, anything. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Let's move. Okay, so like that. Okay, so for example, now you are listening, and I do not know that whether you are attentive or not. So if you are all using this EEG headset, okay, and then you give me this EEG signals. So and if I am having a dashboard, from that dashboard actually I can understand that who are the participants. Means participant name will not be understood from me, understood from this EEG signal, but I can see their behavior like age, gender, or for example your attention. Okay, so for example, in which slides you are attentive, and in some slides you are wandering. Okay, so this kinds of analysis I can actually understand from those EEG signals. So we can also develop one neurophone or smartphone for assistive framework. So like for example, some patients are there which whose actual brain is functioning, but he is not able to move those his hands or this other limbs. Okay, so there, so for example, he is having this smartphones, and then we acquire the signals. So for example, he wants some medical service. So a photo is appearing in the smartphone, and he has to imagine, okay, this he has to see this picture and he has to imagine. So that time, this is the stimulus. Okay, this photo is the stimulus, and then we record that EEG signals, and that EEG signal is correspondent for this plus symbol. Okay, so if we show this angry bird, so that means that's EEG signals. That time this EEG signals will be corresponding to this angry bird symbol. Okay, so now if we train our machine, okay, so for different kinds of symbols, okay, and then later on the patient actually is visualizing some of or imagine some of these symbols, like he wants some service, medical service. So he has to imagine this plus symbol, and during that time whatever EEG signals we acquire, so from that actually we can understand that what kind of service that patient is looking for. Okay, so if he is looking for playing games, or he is looking for service, or he wants to call a phone or music. Okay, so you see there are actually 9 applications we work with. So music listening, YouTube, calling, or WhatsApp. Okay, so these kinds of symbols are there. And then if we analyze with these different applications, okay, so this accuracy is not that good, but 69%, around 69%. Okay, or along with this 9 applications. Okay, so in some applications the accuracy is not good. For example, Drive. Okay, so this is Google Drive. So yeah, this is yeah, not good. And then some others, maybe this music. Okay, music signal, music symbol. Okay, so like music symbol, we could do it with a 75% accuracy. So now I'll show you some other applications what are possible with this EEG. So you have this smartphones, right? And then we know that sometimes in the smartphone there is a kind of password like a pattern. Okay, so you have to give them pattern like a Z pattern or A pattern, and then you unlock. Okay, and then if your colleague also knows that what kind of pattern you provide for unlocking, then if you in your absence they can also use that mobile and then access the data. Okay, that means this is not secure. But we can make it secure using the EEG signals. Like for example, when I am making the pattern, okay, and then if I record these EEG signals, so the pattern making, pattern drawing will make an stimulus to the brain, and then brain EEG signals will reflect, okay, that person. Okay. So if we can identify the pattern that the signal is from that user, like genuine person, then only it will be unlocking, otherwise no. Okay, so I show you this video. Okay, so this EEG device was EMO-TV POC plus 14 channel device, and you see these are the signals. Okay, and this guy is wearing this it's wearable uh, device, and he is making the pattern. He is drawing the pattern, and when he is drawing, he is the genuine person. When he draws the pattern, so then it unlocks. Okay, so from these signals, actually, we analyze those pattern analysis, that whether the person is genuine or not from the drawing of the pattern. Okay, how he is making the drawing. So, other person, like third person is friends, they are unlocking. Okay, they try to unlock with that Z pattern. Then because during that pattern, this EEG signal, we record that EEG signal, and EEG signals will not match. Okay, so then you will not be able to access the mobile. Okay, so what we are doing, it is similar to your biometric. So biometric, like for example, you have like this machine learning problems, you have this biometric paradigm framework here. So you collect some data of that genuine person. Okay, so means for example, if I am the genuine person, I will give the data several times, 4 times, 5 times. For example, in other registrations, you have given your face photos, signature photos, like this. Okay, so for by which actually it will match later. Okay, so similarly in this EEG based biometrics also, we will provide the genuine users signal, okay, several times, 4 5 times. Okay, so when he makes the Z pattern, so that time we will give the we will record this EEG signals. And for example, let's consider that we have collected 5 times that EEG signals, and from that 5 times EEG signals we will make a model of this of the user. Okay, and let's consider, for example, if you are using this Mac mobile Mac laptop, or okay, for fingerprints, so it will ask you to give you the data in different angles or different pressures. Okay, so that actually will get the data with different kinds of noise. Similarly, if you get the EEG data from different many times, so then the model will be better. Okay, so we have this now, the genuine model, and now given a new signals. Okay, so if you are some making a Z pattern or P pattern, so he will try to we will record that EEG signals, and we'll see that EEG signals, test signals, whether it is matching with the model or not, the genuine signal, genuine person's model or not. If so, how will you match? Means based on this similarity. Okay, so similarity, there are actually many criteria thresholds. Okay, so the matching is more than a threshold or less than a threshold. If it is more than a threshold, means if the matching is good, then it is yes, then it can access. If this is less than threshold, then we will say that okay, your signature is, your pattern is not matching, your EEG signal is not matching. Okay, then you will not be able to access. So you see that these are actually two EEG records of, I think, same person who is making different pattern. So if you make a pattern of Z or you make a pattern of cross, okay, so the signals will be little different. Okay, because the pattern style, your movement, and the movement of your ascenders, descenders, these will actually change. Okay, then accordingly your emotion, thinking, this EEG, this will also reflect, okay, this your drawing pattern. So this is a heat map. Okay, so from that I showed you in the initially, this heat map means which part is active. Okay, so when he is making the Z pattern and when he is making this cross pattern, which part is active. Red means it's active and this blue means not. So we can use this hidden Markov model, support vector machines, or this deep learning machine learning for identifying the genuine or false perceives. So we can also use the similar authentication scheme for other purpose. For example, we can use it for the previous example. We have shown that EEG only used for identifying. Right? So we can use actually by multimodality. So for example, now in Aadhaar you have registered for face photo, signature, iris, several 3-4 data. Okay, because why? Because one may be corrupted or noisy in the testing environment, and then we cannot match. So the second one may work, and then you can get the results. So that's why this multimodality system is good in biometric. So multimodality system is also possible with this in this EEG based framework. So one could think of like EEG with handwriting. So for example, if you are making a signatures, and when I am making the signatures, I write my signatures, and during that time I collect my EEG signals. Okay, so means for example I have made a stroke. Okay, so several strokes like ascenders or descenders. Okay, so those muscle movements are actually directly connected to your neuron brain. So for these ascenders or descenders, there will be change in the EEG signals. So we can analyze those EEG signals, okay, and then we can make some correlations, and then we can actually use this two modality as this multi-modality for authentication purpose. So we can have this, for example, one person is Mahendra, another is another guy. So their EEG signals are different. And for example, this guy is making one guy Pratap is making the signatures. Okay, 2 times signatures. So their signals will be similar, but there will be some changes. Okay, it will not be exactly similar. There will be some changes, but more or less there will be some patterns which will say that okay, this two the guy is same. Okay, so if he is giving this data and later there are some changes, but the core part is same, then we can say that these guys are same. We can here we have this image like signature matching, or if you want to use some face data, face matching, and then you have this EEG matching. Okay, so we are using this signature image processing and this EEG processing together for, and we combine them, okay, for authentication. So for example, here we are seeing this. It's an p-hop means it's an image processing means like for only signatures, the results will be 84%, 85%. If we are using EEG, accuracies are 95%. Okay, because EEG is actually more close to the user. Okay, because it's very difficult to forge. Okay, so you can copy my signature, but it is very difficult to copy my EEG signals during my signature. Okay, that's why it is very difficult. But why then it is not giving good 100% accuracy? Because there sometimes there will be noise and we can miss some genuine person. Okay, that's why the accuracy will fall. So we can use this. You see this when we combine this EEG and image, so the results will be good, 98% or something. Yes, so this authentications, yeah, there are several other papers also on this authentications like signature based or online signatures or 3D signatures. We have done several experiments on this using EEG. So we have found that actually this when we record this EEG signals while we make some signatures, it actually provides good accuracy, okay, for authentications. Yes, yes. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Actually, in machine learning, people do this last one. What you said is trial and error. Okay, so you have to do with this different. You have to try with these different machine learning algorithms, different feature extraction algorithm. You check this which combination actually is the best. But there are already people have tried a lot. Okay, so they have done a lot of these different combinations and found good results, and they have reported. So if you read those papers, you will understand that okay, this combination will not work, this combination work. So you will get some intuition that okay, why this will not work, why this is working. So then from after reading those, then you will understand that okay, maybe these features will be best for this classification, authentication, or this framework will be better. So after reading, you will have more ideas and intuitions that okay, what type of features you will be using, what kind of classification you will be using. Okay, but usually machine learning is like that. Okay, so it's there is no hard and fast rule that is okay. You have to do like this. Right? So you have to do trial and error. So yeah, you have to do lots of experiments. Uh, yep. And when it comes to deep learning, now in deep learning also there are several architectures. Okay, every day there are new architectures are coming, and these architectures are with millions of parameters. Okay, it will take a lot of time. Okay, so for example, in some architectures actually is useful for signature authentication. So for example, we have seen for signature authentication there is actually Siamese network in deep learning. This is actually good. Okay, so you will also means once while you read, then you will understand that okay, so which kind of classification it. So in deep learning, Siamese network is good for this authentications, and you can use it for good results. Okay? And for other like a simple age and gender, or for example, like simple this critical classifications or predictions, you can use this LSTM, BLSTM platform. Thank you. Yeah, any other questions? So let's move to some neuromarketing slides. Okay, so how actually we can do this neuromarketing with this EEG. Okay, so that I was repeatedly saying that okay, so I do not know whether you really understood or you are really interested in these kinds of lecture. So I can have a dashboard to understand that whether you are attentive or not. Okay, so this actually are neuromarketing. So for example, this one wants to buy some products in this e-commerce websites. Okay, so and then if you are looking for some products you are interested, some products you see these are not good. These are not like my product kind of thing. So then we want to develop some software which will understand your behavior. Okay, so what kind of product actually you are looking for example in the recommendation systems. Okay, in this social media or in this Amazon or Flipkart, you'll see that if you buy some products, immediately some other products are actually advertised, okay, or given to you that okay, so do you want to buy this product as well. Okay, so similar things. So they understand using your buying pattern or your viewing pattern that what kind of products are you are interested in, and accordingly they will recommend. Okay, so similarly, so if one wants to understand, because everyone is actually using this online platform. Okay, and then if this one is viewing these products from this product, and then we are collecting this EEG signals, we will understand that whether this guy is really interested in this product or not. If he is interested, then he can recommend similar products. Okay, so like this. So why it is important means why we are not doing with this writing means this review comments like that whether I am interested or not. Okay, so for example, I give you this one example now. So after this lecture, if I just tell you that okay, so can you please give me your feedback that okay whether you liked or not. And then you may imagine that okay, so this professor is from IITs, and he has spent a lot of time. He has designed so many slides and explained. So let's give him 5 out of 5. But you are not at all interested, and you will see that my slides are not at all good. Okay, there are many presentations which are actually really good. So, but still, by means you are not doing from your heart inside. Okay, means you are not your brain is saying something, but you are doing something different. Okay, so that actually is not reflecting the proper intention of the viewer. That is important. Okay, so the marketing companies, they are actually interested to know the intention, actual intention. Okay, what he is doing. So for example, someone user is interested, but he will write, okay, it is not good. Okay, so they can actually falsely write anything. Okay, so but if we get the EEG signals, so they are actually, as I was telling, it's actually you it is very difficult to change. Okay, this EEG signals, or copy the signals, or mimic these different signals. Okay, so if we get the EEG signals and we can understand this pattern, then we can say that okay, there is really interested in this product or not. These are actually in neuromarketing. So for this example exercise, we have done with this several products. Okay, the customers means the students are viewing the products in the website. Okay, so website means it's in the desktop, several examples, 30 examples or 60 examples. Okay, with this each product having different um, samples. Okay, so for the chart is having 3 different designs, and then from this different products, we are interested to know that whether he is interested on this product or not. Fine. So we collected the data from these products, and after that we have those machine learning paradigm. Okay, so that I have already explained. So you have this data sets with some training data. Here in the training, so when we collect the EEG signals, okay, so that time because it's in a controlled environment, okay, and then we know the users very well, and then we have asked, okay, if you just say that whether you really like or not. So later, after at the end of this experiments, they have mentioned that okay, whether these guys they like the product or not. Yes, some products they have said yes, sometimes they have said no. So that means we have this EEG signals and we have the labels. Labels are whether it is yes or no. Okay, so like we have now the data set with those EEG signals and the label. This is a supervised machine learning algorithm that I have discussed with this age and gender, or this neurophone. So we extract some features and make some models, classify models, and then later given a new signal. So for example, if you give a signal, then I can tell you that okay, whether it's a really interested or not. Okay, very simple. So for example, this one guy is giving different products, and then from these products EEG signals we can actually understand. So we see that we did some experiments with hidden Markov models, HMM, with this when we analyze with this theta band, so we got good results, around 70% accuracy. Okay, so you see this paper analysis of EEG signals and its applications to neuromarketing. And I have told you also another point that okay, if we place the electrodes only in one part of the brain. So for example, if we know that okay, this frontal part is active, okay, for this neuromarketing thing, okay, so then we see that this accuracy is around 65%. If we use this occipital or other part, then the um, accuracy is not good. But if we combine all these electrodes together, okay, this whatever electrodes we have, okay, we have placed, we combine all those electrodes results together, then actually their performance will be little better. Okay, so if it's 65%, we will be getting 70% accuracy. Any doubts here till now? Fine. So yeah, so now I'm going to just close it in 3-4 slides more. So we have discussed all this some neuromarketing, authentications, and some general machine learning paradigm. So and I didn't discuss much on this healthcare sectors. Okay, like this disease diagnosis. We have also several papers on healthcare, but this requires some understanding of this disease. Okay, where it affects. Okay, and there are some pre-processing and pattern analysis kind of stuff. If you are interested, you can study them, but I just show you some work. Okay, so some slides where actually you can use. So for example, prediction of strokes. Okay, so prediction of strokes happen that because of this blood clot, okay, or this different behavior. Actually, I am also not expert in this. See, one need not be expert, okay, on this healthcare sector. But if you have EEG signals, this EEG signals you record, you have this data set, and then you can use really this machine learning paradigm to know that whether you really can decode. Okay, that is very important. So here we want to decode. Okay, so from this EEG, so this doctors are getting the signals, and we want to decode that what kind of disease it is. Okay, so just like a app. Okay, so the doctors will collect the signals, and we will understand that what is the function. Okay, so what is the disease, and if the disease exists, then what is the severity, whether it is high, medium, or low, or in a regression. We can also make some predictions, depression predictions. Okay, we have several projects. One project from this park for these depression predictions. Okay, so if someone is actually having depression, so we want to detect the ruminations. Okay, rumination is the state where a person contemplates on self-related and often negatively bad thoughts and finds it difficult to disengage from them. Okay, she is always in a negative thoughts. Okay, so can we detect these kinds of emotion? Okay, so we can understand from this EEG those states of these emotions, and we can decode that whether really he is okay or not. Then I also discussed about this rehabilitations. Okay, rehabilitation is also one of the very strong research going on. Okay, so where people are analyzing from this EEG signals or some other head cap device, this they are recording this EEG signals, and then from that actually they are controlling the environment. It could be your environment, like you want to, for example, smart home, smart car, or whatever. For example, you are outside, so you want to switch on or switch off your lights. Okay, just you imagine. Okay, so we have also one experience like we did, like a you imagine this like switching off the light, and then accordingly we receive the EEG signals. We classify them EEG signals as on or off. Okay, and like smart home. And then you can also do this movement control that I was saying. This for example, locomotions like wheelchair, that whether you want to move straight, left, or right. So you have basically 4 states: stop, moving forward, right side, or back side, or left side. Okay, so maybe 5 states. So you have basically from these EEG records, you will classify them one of these 5 state. Okay, 5 classes. Then if it is a movement control, so you have this EEG signals, and you have a motor which will actually understand that how far you are from this object, from your visualizations or imaginations. Okay, EEG signals. If we understand that, okay, we have captured, then it's fine, otherwise we will move. So it will understand that whether you have captured it well or not. Okay, so these are the states we can analyze using this machine learning paradigm, or understanding these patterns from these EEG signals. So if you are interested in this kinds of research, there are actually many data sets available. Okay, so many data sets are publicly available. So for example, in our website that I have told you, this Parimal website, you will have two data sets. One is from neuromarketing, that is for like neuromarketing is, for example, whether you are really interested or not of a product, okay, that we can understand from this EEG signal. This data set is available. Another data set is from envision speech. Means, for example, I am imagining one of 30 products. 30 products, like I can imagine some character like A, B, C, D, or some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, or some real life characters like animals, cars, okay, these kinds of total 30 objects we considered in our experiments, and then we have recorded those EEG signals corresponding to those objects, and those data are there. So the objective is, from those EEG signals, one has to identify what was the object he imagined. Okay, that we say this is envision speech recognition. In Kaggle competition, you will find several data sets. Okay, brain controlling spelling device, exploiting grapho elements. Okay, many data sets are available which are actually on EEG. If one is interested for disease diagnosis, epileptic seizures, and depressions, many data sets are available. Okay, so you can actually look for, and these are some of these data sets we have found. And what the data sets I was talking in for epileptic seizure, actually we have used with one hospitals, and that data set is not available because there are some privacy issues. Okay, so we could not make it private. Okay, so in conclusion, so I say that, okay, so there are lots of opportunities. Okay, so in this EEG research, it's the future. Okay, so you see this now people are using smartphones. 10 years back we could not imagine. Now you see this in down the line, in 10 years in futures. Okay, you will find that, okay, there will be no smartphones. Everyone will be using some cap or some chip, and then they will just talk, or they will just imagine, and accordingly these actions will be done. Okay, this is the future. So people are developing hardwares, softwares for those, and these EEGs are being used for healthcare sector extensively, and this is also possible for other purposes like authentications, neuromarketing, emotion analysis, and others. Many data sets are available. Okay, so if you are interested, just download and you start working. And publishing paper is also very easy compared to the other research domains, because this is very new field. Okay, so if you just have some idea, you develop some data sets and you publish. Okay, it is actually quite fast and easy. Okay, so thank you very much. So these are some organizations I am getting support for my research. So for example, DRDO, Samsung, I worked in industry. I am also visiting scientists in ISI. I have some collaboration with the Japan, Kaken is Osaka University for Kakening project, and Groningen University. Two PhD students from IIT Roorkee are actually jointly supervised by professors there. So thank you very much. Thanks for your kind attentions and your patience. Yeah, please, if you have any comments, you please tell me. Okay. Otherwise, you can always drop me mails that I said, partha@cs.iitl.ac.in. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah, anyone having any comments? If you have some ideas of research or any questions, any kind of questions, it may be relevant, may not be relevant, it's okay. You can ask me. So whether it is useful or not for your research. Okay, fine. Okay. Yeah. I am not receiving any comment. That's what I was thinking. I do not receive. Okay, fine. Fine, fine. So, okay, no problem. So yeah, anyone, yeah, any comments which actually requires some clarification? Mm-hmm. It will be costly. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, your question is right. So one point is that, see, I said that if someone is interested in DCI, so data sets are available. Okay, many data sets are available. So you do not need to collect data sets always. Okay, so if you have some different ideas and these data sets are not available, then only you need to go for the data set collections. Otherwise, if the data sets are available, many data sets are already available. Okay, so you can use them for this research and then what? If the data set is not available, okay, so then one may need to buy some device. So in that case, what you can do? So as I was telling that there are actually two options. Either you have to collaborate with some uh, institutes like IITs or NITs who is having this device. You can work with them. You just ask the students to go there and collect the signals. It's okay. So for example, in my lab, many students actually come. They collect the signals, okay, data, okay, in IIT. These are okay. I do not have any problem. Uh, Only issue is that there should be, we have to provide some ethical certificate. Okay? That there should not be any privacy issues. Okay, these kinds of certificates are provided, then there is no problem. And another thing is that uh, if you have a different applications in mind and you do not some no one, you are not getting any support, so what you can do, you can actually buy a cheaper device that I was telling, that for example 4 electrodes, 5 electrodes device, or 10 and this 14 electrodes device like emotive. Actually we started in our lab with this 14 electrode device that was costing around 1000 US dollar, like 60,000, 70,000 rupees, Indian rupees that time. So you can buy this kinds of device and you can start working. It will work. Okay. So with the 70,000, 80,000 rupees, it will work. And you can get more or less the signals. We have actually many papers from this 14 channel device. Yeah, it's so cool. Actually, last year also we wanted to purchase this kind of devices. Now they are saying like this. So yeah, what you will do, you will but buy some device and then you wait. Okay, when you will have several participants for dataset collection, that time only you collect for few days. Means you just hire it for 3 4 days and then you collect the data and then you stop. Yes, yes. Sure, sure. Yes, that's good. As I was telling that it's actually a future, so really I want you to start immediately because people who are actually have started a lot working in this. In last 2 3 years, I have seen many research labs have actually started working in this domain and they have published lots of paper. Okay, this is a good time and publishing good papers. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you all of you for this patience and attention. Thank you, Professor Abhishek Go, for your invitation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. See you. See you in some future events. Thank you. Bye.